We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Okay, good morning. Thank you, Shauna, for adminning. I do not know what we would do without you. Thank you so much. Yeah, greatly appreciate it. Let me get, all I can see is myself, so let me get rid of that. Oh, that's much better. Welcome everyone to our weekly gathering. We are thrilled that you are here. So let's see. It has been a while since I've done this. Of course, I say that every time I do this. So let me just find my place. Okay. So what I'm going to do is read to you the statement of purpose. Our purpose: we are an assembly of equals, joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self. Within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols, we seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. And I'm going to read it again. We are an assembly of equals, joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self. Within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols, we seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. And the core value most closely aligned with what I want to talk about today, I guess, is core value number 2. Again, it begins with a similar phrase, as does our purpose. We are an assembly of equals. And core value number 2 states, we realize everyone is equal, and no one has been given spiritual intuition that is an authority over the spiritual intuition of others. We live this value by listening to each other, respecting each other, and allowing each one to be where he or she is. We realize everyone is equal. Okay, before we watch that, I would just want to say that in the lyrics it says, it talks about giving love to all my people. All my people is everyone. Everyone. I don't know if that's the way, I think that's the way the artist meant it, but even if he didn't, it's perfect. All my people is everyone. So, yay! Wasn't it fun? All right, amen. Speaking of amen, let's have a prayer. I am so grateful, Father. I am so grateful to be given this opportunity truly to teach what I would learn. Thank you for the ability to recognize this opportunity as opportunity. Thank you for a beautiful life. Help me to always remember to give love rather than seek it. Amen. And now we will have a reading. Connie Poole is going to be our reader, and Connie Poole, my beloved sister, Connie Poole, is going to read excerpts from an article by Nirmala, Love is Forgiving. And so, Connie, I will turn this over to you, my dear.
Thank you. Love is Forgiving by Nirmala. What is love, and where is it found? We search for love and try to get love, and yet it seems like we never get enough. Even when we have found love, it can slip away as time passes. What if there is a source of love that never fades and is always available? What if love is as near and easy as breathing? What if we have been looking for love in all the wrong places instead of actually lacking love? Love is both simpler and more mysterious and subtle than we have imagined it to be. Love is very simply the spaciousness, open attention of our awareness. Awareness itself is the gentlest, kindest, and most intimate force in the world. It touches things without impinging upon them. It holds all of our experience, but it doesn't hold it down or hold it back. And yet, inherent in awareness is a pull to connect and even merge with the object of our awareness. It is the seemingly contradictory nature of awareness, the completely open and allowing nature of awareness, and its passionate pull to blend with and even become the object of its attention, that gives life its depth and sweetness. There is nothing more satisfying than this delicious dilemma of being both apart from and at the same time connected to something we see, hear, or feel. Awareness is the beginning of all separation. Prior to awareness, there is just oneness or isness, with nothing separate from the oneness that would be able to experience it. With the birth of awareness, there is the subtle distinction of two things: that which is aware and the object of awareness. And yet, those two are still connected by this mysterious force we are calling awareness or love. This flow of awareness and love that connects us to all we experience is the true source of satisfaction and joy. We have all experienced it to some degree. Whenever you fall in love with a person, pet, piece of music, or beautiful object, you have felt this flow of intimate, connected awareness. Unfortunately, we have been taught to believe that the source of this good feeling was in the object of our affection. So we suffered when we lost our apparent source. When our lover leaves, our beloved pet dies, the concert ends, or the bank repossesses our dream home, we feel bereaved of that loving, connected feeling. But what if we are the source of the awareness that connects us to everything? What if the love we have been seeking has always been right here inside of our own hearts? What if it doesn't really matter what awareness is touching, but only that there is awareness flowing? That would profoundly simplify the search for love. Anything or any experience would be a suitable object for our love. The sweetness of love is in the flow of awareness itself. The completely allowing openness and freedom we might look for from the perfect lover is already here in our awareness. It doesn't have to try to be accepting, because awareness is, by nature, open and allowing. Awareness itself cannot do anything but touch. Awareness cannot push or pull or demand anything from or limit the freedom of what it touches. And yet, awareness is not aloof, distant observer. Awareness is deeply and intimately connected to the object of awareness. In fact, awareness and the object of awareness are ultimately the same thing. This connection and intimacy that is natural in awareness is satisfying and fulfilling regardless of the object of awareness. In other words, whatever you are experiencing right now is your true love. Whatever you are experiencing is the opportunity to also experience the depth of your true nature as open, loving awareness. Your true nature is true love. It is the perfect lover you have been seeking. And not only is it always there, but that is who you really are. Even when awareness is contracted and tight, as it often is when we are lonely, angry, sad, hurt, or afraid, the awareness has the same nature as when we are happy and excited. Even a single drop of water is still wet, and even a single drop of awareness is still open and allowing of whatever it is touching. The only trick to experiencing the open and allowing nature of awareness is to look for it in the actual experience you are having. When our awareness is contracted by judgment or fear, it is not actually touching the object of our judgment or fear. Instead, it is touching the judgmental or fearful thought we are having. Awareness is completely allowing and open to that thought. That is the definition of awareness. It is the open and allowing recognition of the content of our experience. If awareness is not open to something, then we are not aware of it. The key to experiencing love is to notice where awareness is flowing right now. The flow of awareness is love and is the most satisfying and nourishing thing we can experience. There is naturally a direction to the flow of awareness. It moves from within our being to the objects and experiences we are having. We can only fully experience this flow of aware love as it moves in this direction. When someone else is lovingly aware of us, not of their judgments or desires regarding us, but simply of us as we are, we can experience the outer expression of their love. We can see the way they are looking at us, the smile on their face, and the responsiveness of their reactions to us. But the awareness of us is arising in them, the love flowing from them towards us. And so it is filling them with a sense of satisfaction and joy. If we are to feel satisfaction and joy, it will depend on whether we are experiencing a flow of love towards them. It is our own open awareness that fills us with that sense of connection and appreciation. We are filled with love when we are giving it to someone or something else. Obviously, it can be easier to open your heart and follow and allow a fuller expression of your own love when the requirements of your conditioning are being met. When someone who matches your ideal for a lover is exhibiting attraction and interest in you, it is often especially easy to give them that same openness and attention in return. So naturally, when two people are falling in love, they are both feeling the fullness and the richness of the free flow of awareness. Yet the contact each person has with the love is within themselves. It is their own love and awareness that is filling them up so richly. This is the truth that we are feeling with love when we love someone or when something else instead of when we are loved. We can feel from the search for love outside of ourselves. There is just one awareness and one being behind all the individual awarenesses. The way we can reach that one being is by experiencing the flow of love from within our being. Paradoxically, the place where you are connected to other is inside your own heart. You cannot really connect to another externally. On the inside, you are already connected to everyone and everything. The connection is the flow of awareness that is right here that is here right now reading these words. It is the loving nature of awareness that the sense of connection is found, not in the objects of awareness. We are connected to others in the awareness flowing from within us to them. Connection is not found in the flow of awareness and love towards us. By definition, the flow is connected to its source inside the other person. This is good news. We can experience limitless love no matter what anyone else is doing. The only thing that matters is how much we are loving, not how much we are loved. Right now, you can be filled with overflowing with incredible sweetness of love just by giving awareness to anything and everything that is present in your experience. We sometimes confuse love and relationship, which is another example of how our conditioning leads us to believe that the outer object of our love is also the source of our love. If we recognize that the true source of love is within us, then relationship can be seen in perspective. Relationships are important, but they are not as important as the essence of love. It is clear when you consider how a relationship with love is not satisfying, but the experience this is clear when you consider how a relationship without love is not satisfying, but the experience of this inner flow of love is satisfying either with or without a relationship. You can experience it with a beautiful object of art in a museum, a moving piece of music, an exciting moment in a sporting activity, or in the deep connection of a relationship with another person. The love is what makes relationship and everything else worthwhile. What a rich possibility that all of the love you have ever wanted is available right now, just by giving it to everything you encounter, both within you and in the environment. Love is forgetting. Love is forgiving, not forgetting. And the more you give, the more fully it fills your heart to overflowing.
Thank you, Connie. Let me get back on gallery. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Well read. Thank you. So where to start? Where to start? Good question. I will start with the impetus for this topic. Well, within my awareness, what was the impetus for this topic? And that was I got the pleasure of visiting with Regina and attending her 4 Principles of God retreat this past weekend in St. Louis. It was fabulous, as always. And right before I left town, a friend had said something about, are you dating anybody? And so, so I drove to St. Louis. It was 4 hours. And so for 4 hours, I'm going, dating somebody. That sounds good, right? I was really surprised by how much attention I gave to that particular topic on this drive to 4 hours drives to St. Louis. I didn't think about much else, which is, interesting. And so I mentioned this to Regina, and she suggested that I look at it a little bit more closely. Imagine that. And so I did. And I want to read you some of what was written. So the question that arose was, what would you share with me about my addiction to specialness? Let's talk about that for a minute. The reason that was the question was because well, because it was the perfect question. But, you know, for me, there's something in like even the prospect of like a new relationship is like, oh, you know, you get to be special and the other person gets to be special. Although if this question hadn't arisen, I'm not sure I would have called it special, but right. But that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, bubbles and just that excitement about what what I would have said was being into somebody else and having that somebody else be into you, right? So at any rate, here's the question that arose. What would you share with me about my addiction to specialness? Inner wisdom said, specialness is merely a totem to ward off non-specialness or its extreme worthlessness. Excuse me. Thus, it is merely a symptom of continuing to feast on the I am bad belief. Surprise, surprise. And so I asked, okay, how do I let specialness go? And the answer was by calling it out. And as you sometimes do, refraining from participating in the fruits of specialness. That is, be aware of those things that prove your specialness and let the idea of specialness go when it arises to be fed. Later, I went back and after I knew I was going to be speaking today and asked about what the message is. And after reading Love is Forgiving, I came up with a new title. It's not the one I stuck with, but I came up with a new title. That title was Specialness, Asking Love to Flow Backwards. The ultimate title we ended up with was Love Without Return. The same idea, right? Based on what we just heard from Nirmala. We feel love, we experience love when we give love. That's not the first time we've heard it. He's certainly not the first person to say it. So let me read this to you and then we'll get on with it, is what the mind just said. So after getting this new title, Specialness, Asking Love to Flow Backwards, I laughed and said, the original title I felt that you gave to me was Love Without Return. What would you say to me about specialness and love? And immediately a question came in my mind. And frankly, this was, again, a question that Regina had asked me a few weeks ago when we had a conversation about a similar topic. So Inner Wisdom says, the first question you heard was perfect. Have you ever received anything worth having through specialness? That's not exactly the question that Regina gave me, but I can't come up with those exact words. That's what I heard. Have you ever received anything worth having through specialness? In other words, has it brought you joy, peace, or love? The obvious answer is no, but can you really see that? Think about those times when you were striving to be special. And then immediately came to mind something. I can't even remember the incident now. It was a conversation that I think that I was having with Connie. And I'm like, yeah, but why didn't you, I don't know, call me or ask me first or whatever it is, right? Whatever one does in a special relationship with somebody else. Inner Wisdom said of that, didn't that just occur this morning? What did it bring you? It brought despair, a sinking feeling, regret for having said something. Specialness is the wish for separation. By definition, it is the desire to be set apart from. Is that your desire? Of course not. What you wish is to share the fullness of creation. It is when you share the love you find inside that you are aware of it. Of course, it is always there, but are you always aware of it? The best way to find it is to give it away. Where have we heard that before? Love, peace, joy are all the same. As Connie said recently, means and ends are always the same. Means and ends are always the same. Open your heart to have your heart opened. Be vulnerable. Give of yourself. That is all you can ever give or get. Learn to look for opportunities to give of yourself. How do you do that? Means and ends. Means and ends. Be love. See love. Give love. Live love. For that is what you are. So what I like to do is, is to look at what Nirmala said in his article about love, the fact that love is forgiving, and contrast that with what A Course in Miracles has to say about specialness. And let me just say that all of this was just given as a gift. When I got up at 7 o'clock this morning, I had no idea where we were going. But anyway, so it's always a gift, always a gift. So I'm going to read you some excerpts from that, from the excerpt that Connie just read to you. Love is Forgiving by Nirmala. What is love and where is it found? Love is very simply the spacious, open attention of our awareness. Awareness itself is the gentlest, kindest, and most intimate force in the world. It touches things without impinging on them. Inherent in awareness is a pull to connect and even merge with the object of our awareness. It is the seemingly contradictory nature of awareness, the completely open and allowing nature of awareness, and its passionate pull to blend with and even become the object of its attention that gives life its depth and sweetness. This flow of awareness and love that connects us to all we experience is the true source of satisfaction and joy. We've been taught to believe that the source of this good feeling was in the object of our affection, so we suffered whenever we lost our apparent source. What if the source of awareness that connects, what if we are the source of the awareness? What if we are the source of the awareness that connects us to everything? What if it doesn't really matter what our awareness is touching, but only that there's awareness flowing? That would profoundly simplify the search for love. Anything or any experience would be a suitable object for our love. The sweetness of love is in the flow of awareness itself. The completely allowing openness and freedom we might look for from a perfect lover is already here in our own awareness. It doesn't have to try to be accepting, because awareness is by its nature open and allowing. Awareness by itself cannot do anything but touch. Awareness cannot push or pull or demand something from or limit what it touches. And yet awareness is not an aloof, distant observer. Awareness is deeply and intimately connected to the object of awareness. Whatever you're experiencing is an opportunity to also experience the depth of your true nature as open, loving awareness. Your true nature is true love. The only trick to experiencing the open and allowing nature of awareness is to look for it in the actual experience you're having. Again, look for it in the actual experience you're having. I want you to remember that in a minute when we talk about specialness. That is the definition of awareness. It's open and allowing recognition of the content of our experience. The key to experiencing love is to notice where awareness is flowing right now. That flow of awareness is love, and it's the most satisfying and nourishing thing we can experience. There is naturally a direction to this flow of awareness, and it's, again, inside out, not the other way. If we are to feel satisfaction and joy, it will depend on whether we experience a flow of love towards the other person in a relationship. it is our own open awareness that fills us with that sense of connection and appreciation. We're filled with love when we're giving it to someone or something else. We are filled with love when we are giving love to someone or something else. When two people are falling in love, the contact each person has with the love is within themselves. It is their own love and awareness that is filling them up so richly. We are filled with love when we love someone or something else instead of when we are loved. That fact can free us from the search for love outside of ourselves, right? We're filled with love when we love someone or something else instead of when we're loved. That's freedom. There's just one awareness and one being behind all of the individual awarenesses. The way we can reach that oneness of being is by experiencing the flow of love from within our being. Paradoxically, the place where you're connected to others is inside your own heart. We're connected to others, and the awareness flowing from within us to them. Connection is not found in the flow of awareness and love towards us, as by definition, that flow is connected to its source inside the other person. The only thing that matters is how much we're loving, not how much we're loved. And then we sometimes confuse love and relationship, which is another example of how our conditioning leads us to believe that the outer object of our love is also the source of our love. If we recognize that the true source of love is within us, then relationship can be seen in perspective. Relationships are important, but they're not as important as the essence of love. This is clear when you consider how a relationship with love is not satisfying, but the experience, this is clear when you consider how a relationship without love is not satisfying, but the experience of this inner flow of love is satisfying either with or without a relationship. All of the love you ever wanted is available right now. Love is forgiving, not forgetting. And the more you give, the more fully it fills your heart to overflowing. So I apologize for, it just felt like a long time when I was reading that. So let's look at the difference between that and specialness. Well, first of all, let me say, this is from A Course in Miracles, chapter 24, specialness and separation. And it says, first of all, that love is extension. To withhold the smallest gift is not to know love's purpose. Love offers everything forever. Love offers everything forever. Course in Miracles, chapter 24 says, the secret enemies of peace, your least decision to choose attack instead of love. Unrecognized and swift to challenge you to combat and to violence, far more inclusive than you think are there. Okay, by your election. So let's try this again. I'm just going to read that to you again, see if I can get it if I can read it the way it's written. The secret enemies of peace, your least decision to choose attack instead of love, right? Just the minute you go, well, I'm not going to respond to that, whatever, right? You withdraw. You know what it feels like to withdraw, right? So the moment you withdraw, if love is giving, the moment you withdraw, you have made the election to withdraw from love, to choose something other than love. Here, A Course in Miracles calls it attack. It also calls it the secret enemy of peace. The secret enemies of peace, your least, even the tiniest little decision, your least decision to choose attack instead of love. That's unrecognized, and it's swift to challenge you to combat and to violence. Right now we're in fight mode. We're no longer simply allowing love to flow through us. We're no longer simply allowing our awareness to encompass everything that we connect in an intimate way. The moment we make the decision to withdraw from that, it is a decision that we've made, and we've immediately switched tracks. And note here, the end of the sentence, although it's a convoluted sentence, it says that decision is far more inclusive than you think. And it's your decision, right? Far more inclusive than you think is there by your election. And the point here is that Connie's often fond of talking about column A and column B, right? You've immediately taken yourself out of column A and placed yourself in column B. You've made your choice when you determine to stop the flow of love that you are. All that is ever cherished as a hidden belief, to be defended though unrecognized, is faith in specialness. What else could justify attack? Only the special could have enemies, for they are different and not the same. And difference of any kind imposes orders of reality and a need to judge that cannot be escaped. So let's look at this. This specialness. Oh, it sounds lovely at the beginning of a relationship. They're so into you. You're so into them. But this is not love. What we're looking at is the desire to have someone else treat you as special. You're inviting specialness in. You're inviting specialness as a way of being. And I'm not necessarily talking about just a romantic relationship. I'm talking about relationships that we have with our family members, our friends. We either extend love or we invite specialness. And when we invite specialness in, we don't get to pick and choose, right? We've invited this mindset of specialness in. Once we do that, we begin to look for differences. We have to. That's what keeps specialness alive. Better than, worse than, right? There have to be differences in order for me to be special. And that's what I've invited into my relationship, into my mind, when I want to be special. A difference of any kind imposes orders of reality and a need to judge that cannot be escaped. And thus does specialness becomes a means and end at once. For specialness not only sets apart, but serves as grounds from attack on those who seem beneath the special one. And this is seen as natural and just. Now, let's talk about the I am bad belief a little bit, shall we? The special ones feel weak and frail because of differences. For what makes them special is their enemy. Specialness, I want to read you more about the I am bad belief here in a minute. Specialness is the great dictator of wrong decisions. Isn't that great? Specialness is the great dictator of wrong decisions. He who specialness must be defended. He who is worse than you must be attacked so that your specialness can live on his defeat. For specialness is triumph, and its victory is his defeat and shame. There's got to be somebody you're more special than, right? Your brother is your friend because his father created him like you. There is no difference. You have been given to each other that love might be extended, not cut off from one another. What you keep is lost to you. If I want to keep that love, if I want to get that love, if I want to get it from you and keep it, when I do that, it's lost from me. It's only by the extension that I experience love. And that's not what specialness does. Specialness absolutely believes that specialness has to go out there, get that love, bring it back in and protect it for all it's worth. And I will give you the proof. If you give me 5 minutes, I'll give you the proof how special I am. I'm going to tell you. And you better recognize it. Of Course in Miracles says, could you attack each other if you chose to see no specialness of any kind between you? Look fairly at whatever makes you give each other only partial welcome, or would let you think that you're better off apart. Is it not always your belief in specialness? Is it not always your belief in specialness is limited by your relationship? And again, you know, of Course in Miracles has a funny way of saying things. That last sentence, let me tell you what I heard it say. If you are not showing me that I am special, that's when that's when there's going to be hell to pay, right? That's when we're going to have problems in this relationship. You need to prove to me that I'm special. And, you know, right? You call me before you call your buddies, right? I'm your sister. How could you not do that for me first? Right? Specialness always, my specialness is always, I always perceive my specialness as not being recognized by the other person in a relationship. That's where the relationship problems come in, whether it's relationship, a romantic relationship, a relationship with my coworkers just came in my mind, with my friends, with my family. If I'm upset, it's because you haven't recognized my specialness. Specialness always makes comparisons. It is established by a lack seen in another, and maintained by searching for and keeping clear in sight all lacks it can perceive. You know, last time, I don't know if it was last time, one of these times when I spoke to you all, we talked about the abundance of God and living in that abundance. And that's what we do when we extend what we are. That's what we do when we extend the love that we are. What does specialness do? Specialness search for and keeps in sight all lacks it can perceive. That's your other choice. That's column B, right? It is established by a lack seen in another and maintained by searching for and keeping clear in sight all lacks it can perceive. Is this what I want to invite into my relationships? Is specialness what I want to invite into my relationships? I mean, what a gift. Oh my God, what a gift, what a gift, what a gift to recognize that's what I'm doing when I need to be special. So what Holy Spirit said to me is to call that out and say something like, you are not special. And it's funny, A Course in Miracles, somewhere in chapter 24 says exactly that. It's got a very short sentence. You are not special. And that's what I need to remind myself when the proof of my specialness comes up, right? You are not special. I don't want any part of that. And then let me read you this paragraph on the relationship of specialness to unworthiness, or the I am bad belief. Let me get a drink first. A Course in Miracles points out the following. It is not you that is so vulnerable and open to attack that just a word, a little whisper that you do not like, a circumstance that suits you not, or even an event that you did not anticipate upsets your world and hurls it into chaos. That's not you. Truth is not frail. Illusions leave it perfectly unmoved. But specialness is not the truth in you. It can be thrown off balance by anything. What rests on nothing never can be stable. However large and overblown it seems to be, it still must rock and turn and whirl about with every breeze. So I saw in that the relationship between specialness and the I am bad belief, specialness and unworthiness. If I've created this thing that has to be fed, it's got to be fed by you and you and you and you and you, right? It will never be fed. First off, I am always looking for lack. So I'm looking for where you fall short of proving to me that I'm special. So that's what I'm going to see, right? Where attention goes, that's your experience. So that's what I'm going to see. Second, there's a recognition in me that knows that this thing I'm trying to, look at me, aren't I special? This thing that I'm trying to pass off as me is not me. It's frail. It needs to be protected, right? Lest it be undone. Maybe I'm just not special enough. I've got to, I got to keep it up. I've got to keep it up. I got to keep building it up. Oh, well, maybe if I pull this thing in, I'll be better. I'll be more special and you'll love me more. That specialness is not the truth in you. Specialness can be thrown off balance by anything, It's again, a long sentence, but a circumstance that suits you not, and an event that you did not anticipate, a little whisper you do not like, your whole day's ruined, right? I want a divorce. That's not love. That's not love. We all know that. You can feel the giddiness in there too. Giddy, right? That's not what it's about. Love is extension. Love is the extension of the truth of who we are. It's not this getting and never being enough, never finding enough, never getting enough mechanism that's invited in when we invite specialness in. So what's to be done? Call it out. I have to call it out. And I've seen it, so somebody will go, oh, Jacquelyn, you did that really well. And I'm trying to suppress. Yeah, I see glitter and firecrackers go, yay. And I'm just trying to be, real nonchalant. I know when that specialness thing's arising. I know when it's arising. I know when I'm collecting this as proof that I'm special. This little thing you said, oh, good job, Jacquelyn. Call it out. You are not special. We all have the same. We're all equal. All the gifts that are given to us equally. I don't need to be special to be loved. I am love. Let me extend that. And you know how it feels to extend love. You know how that feels. You know that when you extend love, that bursts from your heart. And it's just as natural. You also know what it feels like to try and poke holes in everything. Specialness is established by lack seen in another and maintained by searching for and keeping clear in sight all lacks it can perceive. You know what that feels like. Well, I didn't get as much of that. You know the contrast. I know the contrast. And I know that all I want to invite into all my relationships is love. I know that in order to invite love into all my relationships, I extend it. I extend it. I extend it. And I know that to quit choosing specialness, I have to call it out. My feeling, oh, you did that. My feelings are hurt. Why are my feelings hurt? Because I think I'm special and you're not seeing it. Call it out. Call it out. I see why my feelings are hurt. Jacquelyn, you're not special. You're not special. You are all the love in the universe. Be that, do that, extend that. See that love in everything and everyone. That's the call. Okay. That's all I got to say. Shauna, I think we have another song. Who would like to share?
Hey, I love that message. It's such a good one. So what came in for me was this great memory when I was a kid, you know, and that's why I've always been so fascinated with like the vibrational response to things. Is I was in the car, my family was in a car. I think we were coming back from a trip. I don't know, we were kids. It was dark out. I remember that. And there were like 4 of us kids sitting in the back seat. And there was this exchange between my mom and my sister or me. I don't know, something happened, but I got so like, I would call it like jealousy, but like, then you don't know. It's just like this, it just felt so, it was specialness, you know, it was like something, you know, something about my sister was more special than me. And I just remember that so much. And so being able to identify that, thank God, sort of early in life, but also still experiencing it sometimes. And just getting to that, okay, what I'm seeing is specialness, you know, unwind this, totally unwind this. But just, I guess I felt really prompted to share because of the vibrational recognition. So the doing nothing in the world, but just like going within to the one who knows to help unwind it. Thank you.
Sunday.
This was our weekly gathering that we hold online. For more information, you can visit our website at awakening-together.org, or you can subscribe to our Awakening Together channel and click the bell for more notifications when we post our weekly gatherings. Thank you again for watching.